Number: The Alien Queen's Human Mate. Third document. The space above Kepler 442b erupted in a display of destruction that rewrote everything the galaxy thought it knew about human capabilities. The first salvo from the human ships didn't just damage the Krethmar fleet, it systematically dismantled their technological advantages with surgical precision. Impossible, Captain Vextal breathed as he watched the tactical display. 12 massive Krethmar cruisers, each the size of a small moon, were being carved apart by weapons that seemed to bend the laws of physics. Marcus stood calmly at the control console, his fingers dancing across interfaces that somehow understood his intentions before he fully formed them. The Krethmar rely on overwhelming firepower and superior armor. They've never faced an opponent that could turn their strengths into weaknesses. On the display, beams of coherent energy flowed around Krethmar's shields as if they didn't exist, striking critical systems with impossible accuracy. Ships that had been advancing in perfect formation moments ago now tumbled helplessly through space, their engines dead and their weapons offline. How? Zeroth demanded, her scientific mind struggling to comprehend what she was seeing. Quantum tunneling weapons, Marcus explained, never taking his eyes off the tactical readouts. The energy doesn't impact their shields, it appears inside their ships, targeting specific molecular structures in their key systems. 200 years of analyzing captured Krethmar technology finally paid off. The lead Krethmar vessel, a massive dreadnought that dwarfed anything in Xyrath's fleet, began broadcasting on all frequencies. The translation came through as a harsh, guttural voice filled with rage and disbelief. Unknown vessels, you will identify yourselves immediately. You have interfered with a Krethmar territorial expansion. This is an act of war against the Krethmar Empire. Marcus activated the communications array. But when he spoke, his voice was broadcast from all 3 human ships simultaneously, creating an effect that seemed to make his words echo across space itself. Krethmar Fleet, this is Commander Marcus Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered sovereign space with hostile intent and threatened innocent civilian populations. You will withdraw immediately or face complete destruction. The silence that followed stretched for long seconds before the Krethmar commander responded, his voice dripping with contempt. Humans? Impossible. Humans are weak prey species. They possess no military capability. Commander, came a new voice from one of the human ships, speaking in perfectly accented Krethmar language. This is Captain Sarah Martinez of the HSS Tokyo. I've been embedded in your command structure for the past 3 years as Navigation Officer Kethmal. Your fleet movements, tactical doctrines, and weapons specifications have been transmitted to Earth Command for analysis. You have no technological advantages remaining. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Krethmar formation. Xyrath could see secondary explosions on several ships as crews panicked and made critical errors. The idea that humans had been infiltrating their most secure military positions was clearly beyond their comprehension. This is impossible, the Krethmar commander snarled. We will destroy your pathetic vessels and reclaim our operative. You're welcome to try, came another voice, this one from the massive Normandy. But first, let me show you what human engineering has accomplished. While you've been underestimating us, the Normandy's main weapon array activated, and space itself seemed to twist around the massive ship. Energy gathered in patterns that hurt to look at directly, reality bending as forces beyond conventional physics were brought to bear. Quantum disruptor cannon charging, Marcus reported calmly. Target: Krethmar flagship. This weapon dissolves the strong nuclear force holding matter together at the subatomic level. The effect is comprehensive. Xyrath felt ice form in her veins. You're talking about disintegrating matter at the atomic level. We're talking about demonstrating that human patience has limits, Marcus corrected. The Krethmar have spent centuries treating weaker species as prey. It's time they learned what it feels like to be hunted. The weapon fired, and the Krethmar flagship simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not exploded, it was there one moment and gone the next, leaving nothing behind but empty space and scattered atoms. The psychological impact on the remaining Krethmar ships was immediate and devastating. All vessels, retreat immediately, came panicked transmissions across multiple frequencies. Unknown human capabilities confirmed. Abort territorial expansion. Repeat. Abort all expansion protocols. But Marcus wasn't finished. Kreethmar fleet, this is your only warning. Return to your home territory and broadcast the following message to your command authority. A new tactical display appeared, showing not just the local battle but the entire Kreethmar territory. Red icons indicated fleet concentrations, supply depots, industrial facilities, and command centers spread across dozens of star systems. Earth Command has been monitoring your expansion plans for the Great Claiming. We know the location of every ship, every base, every strategic asset in your empire. We know your command codes, your tactical doctrines, and the personal information of every officer above the rank of battle leader. As if to demonstrate, personal files began appearing on the display. Kreethmar commanders with their service records, family information, and current assignments. The level of intelligence penetration was staggering. Furthermore, Marcus continued, his voice taking on a quality that made even Xyrath shiver. We know about the biological weapons you've been developing on Kreth Prime, the slave labor camps on Korvash VII, and the genocide you're planning for the Eldari colonies. Vexistal leaned forward, his weapons systems automatically tracking threats that weren't there. How could humans know about classified Kreethmar military operations? Because we've been inside their command structure for decades, Marcus replied. Every major decision, every strategic plan, every technological development, we've been watching, learning, and preparing. The tactical display shifted again, now showing what appeared to be a massive human fleet hidden throughout Kreethmar space. Hundreds of ships, disguised as civilian vessels, trading platforms, and deep space monitoring stations. Your empire is currently host to 347 Earth Defense Force assets, Marcus announced to the stunned Kreethmar fleet. Each one is equipped with quantum disruptor technology and positioned to eliminate strategic targets throughout your territory. The choice is simple. Withdraw from this region permanently, or watch your entire civilization disappear, the same way your flagship just did. The remaining Kreethmar ships were already turning to flee, their formation completely broken. But their commander managed one final transmission, his voice shaking with a combination of rage and terror. This is not over, humans. The Kreethmar Empire will not forget this humiliation. We will find a way to destroy you. Marcus's response was delivered in the same calm tone he had used to discuss mining efficiency reports. Commander, you're thinking like a predator. You see this as humiliation because you've been outgunned by what you considered prey. But you're missing the larger picture. What picture? This demonstration wasn't for your benefit. It was for theirs. Marcus gestured to a new display that showed incoming transmissions from across the sector. Dozens of species, hundreds of governments, all monitoring the battle through various sensor networks and communication relays. The news was spreading at light speed. The humans, dismissed as primitive and weak for centuries, had just effortlessly dismantled the most feared military force in the region. Every species that has been threatened by Kreethmar expansion, every government that has lost territory to your raids, every civilization that has lived in fear of your empire, they all just watched you flee from a single human battle group. As if on cue, communication requests began flooding in from across the galaxy. The Altarian Republic, the Centauri Alliance, the Free Worlds Coalition, everyone wanted to establish diplomatic contact with Earth immediately. The galaxy's balance of power just shifted permanently, Marcus observed. And not because humanity chose to conquer anyone, but because we finally revealed that the supposed prey species has been protecting everyone else while you thought we were helpless. Xyrath stared at the communications board as request after request poured in. Trade agreements, military alliances, technology sharing proposals. The entire galactic community was scrambling to align themselves with a species they had ignored for centuries. This was your plan all along, she said, understanding beginning to dawn. Not just to stop the Kreethmar, but to reshape the entire galactic power structure. Marcus finally turned away from the tactical display to look at her directly. The engineer she had rescued was still there, but now she could see the strategist, the warrior, the representative of a species that had been playing a game no one else even knew existed. Humanity learned something important 200 years ago, he said. True strength isn't the ability to dominate others. It's the ability to protect those who can't protect themselves. The Krethmar represent everything we've been preparing to stop predators who see other species as resources to be exploited or obstacles to be eliminated. And now the galaxy knows that the prey has teeth. More importantly, they know that those teeth are only used against predators. Marcus smiled, and for the first time since she had met him, she saw no hidden depths or secret agendas in his expression. Your Majesty, I believe you have some diplomatic calls to return. The irony wasn't lost on her. The gentle human she had rescued from a crashed ship had just revealed himself as the advance agent of the most powerful military force in the galaxy. But more than that, he had shown her that true strength could be wielded with honor, that power could be used to protect rather than dominate. Marcus, she said as he moved to leave the command center. What happens now? Between us. He paused, and when he looked back at her, she saw the man who had quietly revolutionized her mining operations, who had thanked her in broken Veltar for saving his life, who had shown her that kindness was not weakness. That depends, he said. Can you accept being mated to someone whose species just became the most feared military power in the galaxy? Xyrath considered the question seriously. Everything had changed in the span of a few hours. The balance of galactic power, humanity's place in the universal community, her own understanding of the man she had grown to care for. But one thing remained constant. I saved you because you were worth saving, she said finally. That was true when I thought you were a powerless refugee, and it's true now that I know you're something far more dangerous. The question is, can you accept being mated to someone who rules a kingdom that just became a strategic ally of the most powerful species in the galaxy? Marcus smiled, and this time, she could see both the engineer and the warrior, the gentleman and the deadly strategist, all existing in perfect harmony within the same person. Your Majesty, he said, I thought you'd never ask. Outside the palace walls, the twin sons of Kepler 442b continued their eternal dance, but everything else in the galaxy had changed forever. The age of predators was ending, and the age of protectors had begun. And at the center of it all, an alien queen and her human mate began planning a future where strength served wisdom and power protected rather than conquered. The gentle engineer had kept his true nature hidden until the moment it was needed most. But now that the galaxy knew what humans were truly capable of, there would be no more need for deception. The prey had become the apex predator, and they intended to use that position to ensure that the strong would never again prey on the weak. The great claiming was over before it began, ended not by conquest, but by the revelation that the meek had inherited more than just the earth.